Morning, everybody. This is your digital disciple, Brian Cody. We're here today to continue our series on authentic relationships.
I stand before you, all by your majesty.
Authentic relationships. What does that mean? Well, we live in a world of unauthentic relationships, right? We've talked about it before. You might have 1,500 friends on Facebook. There's not one or two authentic relationships in all those people. Not only do you not know most of those people, they don't know you. You don't call those people when things go south. You go to your phone and you hit up that one person who is true and real and is going to come running when you need them. And so that's what I want to talk about today. It says in Proverbs 18:24 that a man with unreliable friends will come to ruin, but there is a friend who sticks closer than a brother. That's an authentic relationship. And one man in the Bible had both. He had both. His name was David. And his very best friend in the world was named Jonathan. Jonathan was Saul's son. Jonathan had every single reason to not be David's friend. Here's why. When David got anointed to be the next king by Samuel, that moved Jonathan out of the way. That means that Jonathan, who was in line to be the next king, now he's not going to be the next king because David's going to. But he loved him anyway. See, an authentic friend is in the relationship because they love you, not because they can get something from you. See, you have to keep an eye on that. There's some people that get close to you, not because they love who you are, but because they want what you have. And they're waiting for you to drop it so they can pick it up. But Jonathan wasn't that person. As a matter of fact, when King Saul became jealous of David, when they were singing songs that Saul killed his thousands, but David killed his 10,000, Saul got jealous. And he wanted David dead. And you know who came and told him, hey man, you need to beware and be careful. My father is trying to kill you. He was always on David's side, no matter what. He always stuck close to him. You know why? Because he loved him. He was the friend who was closer than a brother. They went out and he said, they had a signal. And this is what the signal was. David was hiding. And this is what Jonathan said. He said, I'm going to shoot an arrow past the place where you're hiding. And if I tell my servant to go further and get that arrow, that means you need to go keep hiding because my father's coming for you. If I can talk my father out of it and tell him to leave you alone and he decides that he's going to, then I'll have my servant just go pick it up where it is. And of course, as we all know, Saul didn't give up on hunting down David. And so Jonathan went out, shot the arrow past, and told his servant, go further, which was really a signal to David, go further. See, that's what a true friend does. It didn't matter that Saul was Jonathan's father. It mattered that David was Jonathan's friend. As a matter of fact, Jonathan's brother. That's what he considered him to be. And Jonathan went to his death. He went to his death constantly defending his friend, always looking out for him. The last time they saw each other, they expressed, hey man, I love you, bro. Like, that's the kind of friend. That's an authentic relationship. These are the kind of relationships you need to look for. You might find one or two of those in your life, but that's all you need. You'd rather have one or two friends like Jonathan than 1,000 friends like Joab. So let me tell you who Joab is. Joab was the general in David's army. The army that conquered, and this guy, he put him out on the front lines, and Joab fought for David, but he never respected David. David put him in charge. David trusted his word. But watch what he did. First mistake he made. When David decided to stay home from battle and not go out with his army, Joab should have been the guy that said, man, you're a warrior. You're David. These guys follow you, man. You've got to go with us. But he didn't. He let him stay at home. When he stayed at home, that's when he saw Bathsheba. And we all know what happened with her. He saw her taking a bath, called her over to the house. Next thing you know, she's pregnant, right? So then he sends for Uriah. And you know who he sends to get Uriah? He sends Joab. Joab gets Uriah, brings him back. Uriah is Bathsheba's husband, just in case you don't know. And what David wanted Uriah to do was come back from the front lines and sleep with his wife so that baby that is coming, he would think was his. Once again, shady. Joab should have said something about that, but he didn't. He went and got Uriah and he brought him back. But this is the real mistake that Joab made. When David realized that Uriah wasn't going to do what he wanted him to do, which was to go home and be with his wife, David asked Joab, he said this, he said, take Uriah out to the front lines of the battle and then pull back so that he gets killed. Now, see, in that moment, what a real friend would do is go, man, what are you doing? You're David. You're a great leader. You're a better person than this. You're a better man than this. You are God's chosen. You can't do this, man. But he didn't. He did exactly what he said. Took him out to the front lines, backed up, and Uriah got murdered. And we all know after that, it was downhill for David. Things went south quick. He wound up losing the child that Bathsheba was pregnant with. And he began to get out of the graces of God in that moment. So when Joab shouldn't have listened to David, he did. Now watch this. When Absalom, he revolts against David, Absalom is David's son. When he revolts against David and he tries to start taking the crown from David, he takes off running. He's out in the wilderness and he's building an army. And Joab goes after him. And David tells Joab this, fine, go after him, capture him, but do not kill him. And guess what Joab does? He goes out, and as Absalom is running, he's got long hair, and his hair gets caught in a tree, and he gets pulled from his horse, and he's literally hanging by his hair. He's helpless. And in that moment, Joab could have done what David asked him to do, capture him. But instead, he did what David asked him not to do, and he killed him. See, there are some people that even though you bring them close to you, they're not there for any good intentions. Joab was all about himself. See, that's not the kind of friendships that we're talking about. That's not the kind of relationships that we're talking about. There was nothing authentic about Joab except for his jealousy, his envy, and his greed, because he wanted what David had. He wanted to be who David was, so he did everything he could to bring David down. So here's my point. How many people in your life can you depend on? How many people can you rely on? How many authentic relationships do you actually have? Because what this world is suffering from right now, in this moment, is a lack of authentic relationships. Families can't trust family members. Friends can't trust friends. And we just realized through this pandemic that we need each other. See, we all got isolated, and isolation is bad for anybody. But what it made a lot of people realize is, man, the people that are close to me, I don't know them. I don't like them. I don't even think they like me. And that happened a lot, man, with a lot of people. So here's what we need to do right now in this world. Look around your world right now. How many authentic relationships do you actually have? How many people can you actually trust with your deepest, darkest secrets? You know they've got your back, and you know you've got theirs. Find those people in your lives, stick close to them, form real relationships. Let's get away from all these phony, fake, online friendships. That's not even real. You're friends on a device. Let's be friends in real life, person to person. That's what this is all about. Authentic relationships. Seek them out, and you will find happiness. You will find peace. You will find freedom and love. And that's what we all need in this world. So that's my prayer for y'all today. Seek authentic relationships. In Jesus' name, God bless.